Have you ever stopped to think about your own life story? I mean, really think about it. Why is it that you can't for the life of you remember your own first birthday party, but you can recall every detail of your high school prom like it was yesterday? It's kind of strange, right? Well, your brain is constantly writing this story of your life, but it's a pretty selective author. It chooses which chapters get the spotlight and which ones get, well, left in the dark. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the incredible architecture of our memory to figure out exactly why you remember what you do.
So, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the big mystery. Where did our earliest memories go? Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the brain's hardware, the parts actually making those memories. After that, we'll explore why our teenage years are so darn unforgettable, and we'll tackle that weird feeling of time speeding up as we get older. And, to wrap it all up, we'll uncover the surprising reason we spend so much time looking back.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the blank slate mystery. This whole thing really starts with a question that honestly almost everyone has asked themselves at some point. It gets right to the heart of how our memory even gets started.
I mean, think about it. Those first few years of your life are absolutely packed with learning. You learn to walk, to talk, to figure out how the world works. These are monumental experiences, and yet as adults, we have virtually no specific memories of them. It's like a universal black hole in everyone's personal timeline. So what's going on?
Well, this phenomenon actually has a scientific name: infantile amnesia. And it's not just you being forgetful, it's a real, documented psychological and neurological thing. It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? How can a time so critical for making us who we are be completely missing from our own memory banks?
Now, the common idea is that our baby brains just weren't good enough to make long-term memories. But the science tells a much cooler story. The memories were made. The experiences were recorded. The problem isn't that the camera wasn't rolling. The problem is with the playback. It's like we've lost the password to access those early files.
So why can't we hit play? Well, it's because our brains are basically a construction zone back then. Key parts, like the hippocampus, think of it as our brain's librarian, and the prefrontal cortex, the filing clerk, are still being built. On top of that, the infant brain is creating new brain cells like crazy. This process, neurogenesis, is amazing for learning, but it's a bit like trying to build a sandcastle while the tide is coming in. It can wash away the very memory traces it's trying to save. A baby's brain is more focused on learning the general rules of the world, not on documenting every single little thing that happens.
And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. This quote says it all: forgotten but not gone. Believe it or not, studies on mice have shown that these lost memories might not be gone at all. Using some pretty futuristic tech, scientists have actually been able to artificially reactivate these early memories in adult mice. This suggests that your first memories could still be in there somewhere, just locked away behind a door we no longer have the key for.
Okay, so if memories are being recorded, even from day one, what parts of the brain are the main architects? Let's zoom in a little closer and meet the two key players at the heart of your memory-making machine. Meet the amygdala and the hippocampus. You can think of them as a dynamic duo. The amygdala is the emotional highlighter. Its whole job is to scan your experiences, and whenever something emotionally important happens, whether it's exciting or scary or super joyful, it slaps a big, bright, "This is important" tag on it. Then you have the hippocampus, the master librarian. It takes all the details of an event, the who, what, when, where, and carefully files it away as a complete memory. But here's the catch. These two don't grow up at the same speed. The amygdala, our emotional center, gets going really early and develops super fast. But the hippocampus, our detailed librarian, takes a little longer to get up to speed. It doesn't really hit its stride until we're about 3 to 5 years old, which, hey, what do you know, is right when infantile amnesia starts to fade. So our ability to feel things is ready way before our ability to properly file those feelings away. And this process explains perfectly why your most powerful memories are always tied to strong emotions. So a big event happens. Your amygdala lights up, tagging it as important. This triggers a rush of hormones that basically puts your brain on high alert. That signal screams at the hippocampus, "Hey, pay attention. Record everything about this moment." And the result? A super rich, detailed, and strong memory that's way easier to recall later on. This right here is the magic trick of memory. The hippocampus is a master of something called pattern completion. It links all the different parts of a memory: the sight, the sound, the feeling, the smell. So later on, if you encounter just one of those little pieces, like a certain song or the smell of your grandmother's kitchen, the hippocampus can use that one clue to reactivate the entire network. It literally pulls the whole memory off the shelf, and suddenly,
You're not just remembering, you're reliving. So now, let's see how this incredible memory engine creates this really peculiar and powerful pattern that ends up shaping who we are as adults. It creates what you might call a golden age in our life story.
This pattern is called the reminiscence bump, and it is one of the most solid, proven findings in all of memory research. Here's the deal. If you ask an adult over 40 to tell you stories from their life, they will, without a doubt, pull a huge number of them from one specific period, the time between about age 10 and 30.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got childhood amnesia. That's the valley of few memories. Way over on the right, you have the recency effect. Of course, we remember stuff that happened recently. But right there in the middle, sticking out like a giant mountain range, is the reminiscence bump. Our teenage years and early adulthood are without a doubt the absolute peak of our remembered lives. So, what gives? Why this huge bump? Well, researchers think it's basically a perfect storm of 4 different things working together. First, this is when we're forming our identity, so these memories become the building blocks of who we are. Second, it's a time jam-packed with new experiences and firsts. First kiss, first car, first job, and our brain is hardwired to remember novel things. Third, our brain's raw processing power is at its absolute biological peak. And finally, society kind of hands us a life script of major events that are supposed to happen during this time, which helps us organize and prioritize these memories.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about another feeling about memory we've all had. That weird, slippery sense that time starts to speed up the older we get.
Seriously, remember those childhood summers? They felt like they lasted forever, didn't they? But now a whole year can just vanish in a blink. This isn't just you getting old and nostalgic. There are real, solid reasons why our perception of time changes so dramatically.
One of the simplest explanations is called the proportional theory. Basically, we experience a chunk of time, like a year, relative to how long we've already been alive. So for a 5-year-old, 1 year is a massive 20% of their entire existence. But for a 50-year-old, that same year is just a tiny 2% sliver. Each year becomes a smaller and smaller fraction of our total life, so it just feels like it's flying by.
But there's a deeper reason too. Novelty stretches time. A kid's life is just a constant stream of new things. Their brain is working overtime to record all this new information, creating a really dense web of memories. When we look back, that density makes the period feel super long. The adult brain, on the other hand, loves routine. It helps save energy. So it starts to compress familiar events, basically saying, yep, another Monday, got it. No need to record this in high def. And that compression makes time feel like it's just zipping by.
So for our final section, let's figure out why our brains hold on to these special memories so tightly. You know, we often think of nostalgia as being stuck in the past, but it actually serves a really powerful, forward-looking purpose.
This quote completely flips the script on nostalgia. We usually think of it as just this sweet, sad feeling for a time we can't get back. But what science is telling us is that it's actually a psychological resource. Looking back on meaningful past experiences is our brain's way of refueling, of gathering strength and motivation to go out and face the future.
And the benefits are actually huge. Look at this list. Nostalgia can literally make you more optimistic, feel more connected to other people, and give your life a stronger sense of meaning. It's like a shield against anxiety and loneliness. Most importantly, it connects the you from the past with the you of today, creating a coherent life story. It's not about being stuck. It's about using your past to power your future.
So in the end, our memory isn't just some dusty old video archive of our lives. It's an active, living architect constantly building the story of who we are. From those mysterious blank pages of infancy to the vivid highlight reel of our youth, every single memory serves a purpose. Understanding this architecture doesn't just help us appreciate our past, it actually empowers us to decide which parts of our story matter most as we keep writing the chapters yet to come.